In the beginning, there was nothing. Then, as the web grew, web directories began to form. Literally, a giant list of hand-picked websites that might interest you. Very revolutionary for the time, but extremely limited in capability. Then we saw the next big revolution, the search engine. Much like a web directory being a giant list of websites, but computer-generated based on the search query given. And today, we are beginning to see the rise of the next new paradigm, the human language model-powered search. No longer do you have to give a query and get given all these websites, and then go from site to site to site to site, trying to work out the answer yourself like a caveman. Now, you have this language model that knows everything happening, and it can synthesize an answer based on what you ask it. And the query you give it doesn't have to be a simple query like, what time is it on Mars? How far away is Ohio? You can ask it these really complex long-form questions, and it can answer it. And generally, answers pretty well. Recently, Microsoft unveiled a new version of Bing. A new version powered by the same technology behind ChatGPT. And being based on that tech, it is incredibly good at understanding questions. It might give you an incorrect answer in some cases, but it knows what you are asking. Now, currently, if you want to use it, you do have to join a waitlist. And the funny thing about this waitlist is, you can move yourself further along it. You do that by doing the same sorts of things that you'd have to do on one of those scam websites, getting you to answer like surveys and dumb things like that. Make Edge your default browser. It runs on Windows obviously, but also macOS and Linux. Make Bing your default search engine. Make MSN your default homepage. Ping bing.com to the taskbar. Add Microsoft recommended sites to favorites, create a desktop shortcut for Microsoft Edge, and download the Bing app for your mobile phone. If you do all of that, you'll be further ahead on the list. Also, they will own all of your information, but you get what you get. My suggestion might sound kinda crazy, it's don't do any of that, and just wait a couple of weeks until it goes public. If you already happen to use it, go ahead. Everybody else, no need to uproot your entire computing life. As you would know if you've ever used ChatGPT, it is very far from perfect. And Bing GPT, which is not the official name, but it's what I'm going to be calling it, is also far from perfect as well. It can answer a lot more questions as it's actually connected to the internet, but it is still going to have some trouble here and there. But in completely unscientific tests, it does seem to be performing in many cases better than Google would, which, to be fair, isn't a very high bar, because generally, Google isn't going to give you an answer, it's going to send you to a ton of websites that are going to give you an answer. So things like, how do I merge two folders on macOS including subdirectories? This one apparently did do better, it sent you to a website on Apple Insider. But a lot of the other things, like what did the US shoot down over Alaska, or what does IRA stand for, or who was smarter, Mary Curie, I think is the name, or Nikola Tesla. Generally, Bing is just giving you an answer straight away, and it's usually an acceptable answer. And Google is very aware of this, and seem to be very, very worried, because they know that if they sit on their butt and don't do anything, Bing is going to eat their lunch, Bing is going to take over this new style of search engine. So very quickly, Google unveiled a system called Bard, powered by Lambda. Now, I say very quickly because it seems like they put the demo together the day they released it, because the demo actually had a mistake. They asked, what new discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? your 9-year-old might like these recent discoveries made by the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST. In 2023, the JWST spotted a number of galaxies nicknamed green peas. Okay, 1 point, true. The telescope captured images of galaxies that are over 13 billion years old. Okay, 2 points, true. JWST took the very first pictures of a planet outside of our solar system. And you've lost me. That's wrong. There are a lot of articles that reported on or framed it as the pictures from the JWST were the first pictures of the planets outside of our solar system. Now, it is correct to say that these pictures are the first pictures from the JWST of planets outside of our solar system, but the first picture was actually from 2004. This was done by the VLT, otherwise known as the Very Large Telescope. Now, this is the inherent problem with a language model that doesn't have some way to define what is true. If a lot of people keep saying the moon is made of cheese, Bard is going to say the moon is made of cheese unless someone goes and corrects that. And also, to be fair, it's not like Bing GPT can't make the same sort of mistakes. For example, someone was asking about Super Bowl scores and it just gave them the wrong numbers. But when it's some random post on Twitter that got 1 like, it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as literally your own advertisement. And when this happened, it didn't go super well for them. It knocked $120 billion off their stock price. So, good job, guys. Make sure the next time you do an ad, you actually fact check it, or better yet, just fake it. Now, ignoring the giant mess this caused, Google was right to be worried. While they do have a market share for search of roughly 90%, and Bing is only 9%, if Bing can shake off that baggage of being Bing, the Bing history, they have a chance to flip that. ChatGPT has a lot of hype behind it. If they manage to market this properly, and Google does not get something out to the public within 3 months, 6 months, a year, I don't know if Google is still going to be at 90%. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Microsoft does a rebrand, if we do see a lot more people using Bing. Google has that market share. People don't like to change their behavior. They will just keep using the thing they have always been using. Do you know why Windows is still so popular, even though everybody is complaining how much they hate Windows 11, how much they hated Windows 8, how much they hated Vista, how much they hated every single other version of Windows? Because people will keep doing what they've always been doing, because that is much easier than changing your habits. All Google needs is AI-powered search that is good enough. It is functional and not annoying people. It is not horribly wrong and less convenient than just manually searching. Now, seeing as though it's just been unveiled, the idea of an AI-powered search or language model-powered search, whatever you want to call it, might seem like a bit of a gimmick, might seem like something that you'd never seriously want to be using. But just remember, everything that ChatGPT can do can also be done in Bing GPT. And ChatGPT grew incredibly quickly because people realized what this system is capable of doing. But the big difference here is Bing GPT is actually connected to the internet. Not fake connected like people think ChatGPT is, actually able to go to a website and find out the information that is there. Now, obviously, for hardcore research-style work, something like Bing GPT is probably not going to be used, even if it's just to avoid the inherent bias in the model itself, which every model is going to have, let alone certain topics that if ChatGPT is anything to go by, Bing GPT is not going to be happy about, whether it's, certain types of politics, certain types of events that happen, certain types of actions you want to take. There are things where you cannot use a system like this unless it is being entirely open, unless it is free of any TOS. And I guarantee that OpenAI is not gonna let that happen. That would be incredibly dangerous. We saw what ChatGPT can do early on when you break out of the very limited restrictions it had. It would tell you things that it probably shouldn't tell you, like bomb manufacturing, for example, and doing it well. Maybe not the bomb manufacturing, but serious research is obviously a very important use for a search engine. It's not the primary way that a search engine is being used. The way you would typically use it is for like, I want to know good Chinese restaurants within a 15-kilometer radius. Let's say they have a rating above 4 stars, and it could give you actual results down to that sort of query, or something like this. This is one of the demos that is available for Bing GPT. I need to throw a dinner party for 6 people who are vegetarian. Can you suggest a 3-course menu with a chocolate dessert? And it just gives you all of the ideas, and the best part is it gives you the sources. Unlike ChatGPT, where it doesn't tell you where the information comes from, here you can dig down further. Or maybe you want to go to a music festival. I like electronic music and want to go to my first music festival this year. Do you have any recommendations or tips for me? Once again, gives you some pretty good results. Maybe you want to go and adopt a dog. Now, in this case, I'd probably want to go and do my own research, find out different things about different breeds, but how do I pick the best dog breed for me? Is it better to adopt or buy? And it gives you this really long answer, just keeps going and going and going and going, telling you a lot of stuff that you'd want to know. And yeah, this is also a fairly good answer as well. Or maybe you just want to write some code, because like ChatGPT, this can just output code as well. And something like this would have been so useful when I was at university. There were so many cases where I would find an example, let's say A star, for example, where it'd be written in Java or it'd be written in Ruby, and I want it to be written in Python or whatever language I'm using at the time. And this can just change it into another form. Maybe it's not going to be absolutely perfect, but it's going to get you most of the way there. If you start from nothing, or maybe you have like an idea for one course, think about how long it would take you to answer this question if you go from website to website to website to website. Yes, you can absolutely answer it, but it might take you like 15-20 minutes, where this answer here is totally reasonable. And that is exactly why I think AI-powered or language model-powered search, whatever you want to call it, is going to become an incredibly useful part of your day-to-day internet toolkit. It is going to save you so much time on dumb little things that don't matter, and that is going to be incredibly compelling. I have no idea about the future. I have no idea if this is going to be enough to give Bing the start it needs to actually take over Google. I don't know when Google is going to get their own product out to the public, whether it's going to be good enough or absolutely useless. What I do know is this is going to be a very exciting couple of years, and I expect the way that we use the internet to completely change, and I think that's cool. We've been using the same model for a very long time, and I want to see what comes from this. But maybe you don't, or maybe you do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear them, and hey, if maybe you hate Google or hate Microsoft, just throw in a Microsoft or Google bad. You know you want to do it. Anyway, that's going to be it for me, so if you liked the video, go and like the video, and if you really like the video, and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, go check out my Patreon, subscribe, Stanley Pay, linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and I'm out.